for watching, you guys. This video is brought to you by Farm Fuel Coffee, because without it, I'd still be in bed. Alright, you guys, let's talk about politics for a minute. I'm just kidding. We got more important things to talk about. So, if you watch my previous video, you notice that I used the grinding wheel cutter a lot. That's because I don't have a plasma cutter. And so I rely heavily on the grinder when doing any kind of metal projects. But what I found is that I was recharging those batteries. I have a 60 volt flex volt grinder. It's amazing. I've had it for like 5 years and it works just like it did when I bought it. But I have to recharge the batteries a lot when I'm using it for large projects, and the batteries die when you recharge them that much. They only have so many charges in them, the lithium ion batteries. So maybe I'll do a video on that later. But the lithium ion batteries have so many charges in them before they just go kaput. So I've had a few of them die on me. I've had a few of them stolen. I also mentioned in my last video that someone stole a bunch of my tools and welding equipment out of one of our sheds. So I was looking into different grinders and I actually got two. So I'm going to line them up and show you. Oh, the parrot doesn't like that. Guy! Which one do you think is best? Alright. I'm going to line them up and talk to you about which one is good for what, why I got more than one grinder, and what I think about the one that I still have. And so I'm going to show you two new ones and the Flex Volt, and we'll talk about the pros and cons of each one. So check out the video. Okay, you guys, I'm going to start with the little one because this one's the most basic and it'd be easy to explain why I got this one. So let's open it up. I haven't unboxed any of these guys, so this will be the first time that I'm opening these. See what's in it. So Bosch is typically a pretty good brand as far as I can tell. Everything that I've had has been cheap but basic and functional. Comes with a grinding wheel, one of the thick ones, support handle, a guard. It's a 4.5-inch guard, and the grinder, and that's pretty much it. So this is pretty much exactly like I remember. The one that I had actually had a fatter body, so this one's a little bit more ergonomic, which is super nice. It has this switch here, and this actually, if you click it, it'll stay on, and then you just bump it back, and it shuts off. So once it's actually plugged in, you click it, it'll hold that position. So I'm not crazy about that. I prefer a trigger operated one. It's got a little locking button so that when you are, I'm not sure what's going on here. Oh, that doesn't spin. So when you're putting the blade on or taking it off, you can lock it in position. Most of them have that. So yeah, pretty basic unit, small, functional. The reason I got this is because a friend of mine actually showed me the other day in his shop. He has a whole drawer of $30 Harbor Freight grinders, and each one has a different head on it. And I'm constantly changing the heads on my grinder to a wire wheel, a grinding disc, a cutting wheel, all these different wheels and discs, and it just takes up so much time. So I wanted one that I could just kind of have a backup and put whatever head on it I want and have it there ready to go. So that's pretty much it. All this stuff is pretty basic. Okay, so we've got a good look at this one. It's pretty basic. Stuff all this back in the box, and I went out of the service truck and got this one right here. So this is the grinder that I've been using. It's a 60 volt flex volt battery, and I really like this grinder. I've used it a ton. I've had it for like 5 years now, and it's still, the grinder itself works like the day I got it. The batteries, I have gone through a couple of batteries, and they're super expensive, so that is a downside, which is one of the reasons that I wanted to not rely on this too much, because these batteries are super expensive and I need it to be cordless for other things, so but not for big projects. So I have a 7.5-inch wheel on it right now. Actually, yeah, see if it says, I think it's 7.5. It's kind of worn off. That's too big for this. It can handle it, super powerful, but the guard doesn't fit. It only came with a 5.5-inch guard. And then I'm a little nervous about my knuckles here on the edge right there when I'm using it. So has all the same basic features, a lot more ergonomic than the Bosch, has a nice safety trigger here. Overall, absolutely love this grinder. It's a little on the expensive side. I think it's about $300 or $400. The batteries are expensive and they do wear out over time, and you have to keep recharging them if you're using it a lot. This is the one I've been using. Yeah, so there it is. I love that grinder, but it definitely is better for small projects where you don't have access to power. So All right, with that said, let's get the Big Daddy out. All right, I'm super excited about this. I really struggled to not open this before I did the video. Okay, I did that all wrong. Oh my gosh, it's huge. Holy crap. Look at the size of that thing. Okay, so there is, it actually bears a little bit of a resemblance to the battery-powered one, just the shape of the body, which I really like. It's got kind of the motor up top and then the smaller ergonomic grip down below. Looks like it's got a safety button there, so it's a 2-stage, just like the other one, only it's not all in the trigger. That's pretty cool. This is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. This thing is huge. So that might be a downside. I'll have to let you know after I use it. They all work similarly. You know, they've got the threaded nut here that just locks things on. This is just a shipping washer. Let's put the handle on and see how it feels. So the reason I got this one is because 1, it's corded. 2, obviously it's going to be very powerful. 3, it fits the 7.5-inch wheels by design. So it comes with a big guard. You can cut more safely with bigger wheels, and they're just going to be easier to get on and off. This is that locking button, so if you turn the stub, that locks in and allows you to thread things onto it. So yeah, so it feels pretty comfortable. It is big though. That is huge. I did not think it was going to be that big. This one is actually cheaper than the battery-powered one. Battery-powered stuff is usually a little more expensive. That one is cheaper, but it was a lot more expensive than the Bosch one. The Bosch retails for about 50 bucks. This one I think was about 180, something like that. So this is really cool. It's a quick release guard. The one on the battery-powered DeWalt was like a twist and lock and push kind of thing, and it drives me nuts to take that on and off. So I really like these. Super easy to adjust, easy to take on and off if you need to change something about it. So that just slides. Gotta match up our little teeth there on like that, and then it can slide any position you want, and you just lock it down like that, and that is a beast. Wow. So I thought that was kind of just for shipping, but I don't know, maybe not. Let's see if we can find the nut that goes on there. Okay, so it doesn't seem to have anything. Okay, you guys, so I was not paying attention when I got this. I'm ashamed to say it. I actually had to read the directions to figure out what was going on here. But apparently this grinder has come with a setup for specific types of heads, specifically like flap wheels and things that are a little more concave. So you can see this grinder guard is kind of bell-shaped, whereas typically they're going to be real flat and come straight out. And the reason for that is I took this off of the battery-powered grinder. If you put this wheel on here, it hits the guard before it bottoms out on that bolt on the head stud. And so the other problem is, so it would cut through that guard. So this guard is definitely made for something else. The other thing is that all it came with was this goofy little, I don't even know what this is. I think they're calling it a soft mount nut on here, where I would have expected 2 things. I would have expected this, which came off the other DeWalt grinder that actually fits. This is a backing nut, and it locks in with this ground off circular shape here, and basically provides kind of a flat plate for things like cutting wheels and other flat wide objects to sit on. And then the locking nut, and this one doesn't work because it has a special little bracket there that only works with this grinder, so it fits in like that. It's the right size though, and so it would have threaded right on there. Oh, there, so you can see it threads backwards just a little bit till it hits that. So it didn't come with it. This is literally the only thing. Everything that came with this grinder is right here. So I'm a little bit bummed. I've got to go track these parts down for this and a different guard, but It's still a sweet grinder. It's huge, which makes me really happy. I don't feel like I'm going to be lacking. I mean, the only thing that could be better than this really is a plasma cutter. So now I've got the 3 different grinders to do kind of different jobs with, and I think they're going to cover most of my bases. All I have to do is get this one ready for a cutting wheel to be mounted and figure out what the heck this is supposed to be used for. So if you know what this is for, drop a comment and let me know, and hopefully we'll be able to figure that out soon. Okay, you guys, so I showed you the 3 different grinders. I am going to say that the DeWalt 60 volt flex volt grinder is still the best one. It's the most portable, it's the most versatile, it's more powerful than the Bosch and more ergonomic, but it has the fatal flaw of being battery powered, and it just is not going to last. You're going to ruin the batteries if you use it for long projects. You're going to have to constantly be rotating batteries and recharging them, so you've got to have a corded alternative. The Bosch grinder is an excellent little grinder. Like I said, I used one to death a while back, and they work really well. They're super cheap, so if you need multiples, they're definitely the way to go. If you're just starting off and you're not sure how much you're going to use it, they're the way to go. They work just as well as the other two, just a little less comfortable, a little less powerful. They're also smaller, so they fit in smaller spaces. I really like that. So the big DeWalt grinder, the corded one, I'm super excited about it, but I don't know if it's going to be quite as useful. So the other two are definitely the more useful. The big grinder is going to be for large projects where I'm doing a lot of cutting. I need a lot of power. I need large wheels that aren't going to burn up as quickly. And it's just going to be for cutting all the time. And so the other two, we can swap out different heads, wire wheels, grinding wheels, all that kind of stuff. So yep, that's the verdict on the grinders. Let me know what you think about the different grinders in the comments, and we'll see you on the next video.